Well, we now continue our weekly land report segment with the American Society of Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers. Grant Fitzgerald joins us now with the latest from Omaha. Grant, a pleasure as always. You know, of course, we've had you on prior to harvest, and we had talked about the fact that maybe corn and soybean production estimates were below average in the Midwest. So let's talk about harvest results. Tell us how they turned out.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And you're right. When I was on several months ago, I told you that it had been a roller coaster, and we had a lot of variance across the Corn Belt with precipitation and really the outlook of what we were going to harvest. And now with that completed, that's exactly what we found. Really no surprises. I would say overall below average, especially on those naturally, rain-fed acres that don't have irrigation potential, that get the natural rains across Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana. And again, pretty much below average on those, although there were several pockets of some strong yields, which is terrific. And then on the irrigation side of the equation, or the Missouri River in Nebraska and in Kansas, we did have some actually really strong yields in those areas where we had prime soils, fertilizer, and irrigation. But there were some irrigated farms that just couldn't quite keep up with the need of that crop, and those were, again, at or even below average there.
It really varied depending, of course, where people were in this country. But Greg, talk about when we look at those yields for 2023, speak a little bit more to the impact that's going to have as far as planning for 2024.
Yeah, at the end of the day, most producers, given their situation, they need to cash flow, and they're using the proceeds from last year's crop, or 2023, to pay for 2024, right? And the more money in the bank, the more fertilizer and investment you can make into that crop, and that's a huge impact. Also, it's timing. We're fortunate this year that harvest wrapped up in an appropriate time and went really well. So there's more time for preparation to fertilize, do dirt work, and take care of those farms and get them ready for 2024.
Absolutely. Something, of course, that we're always covering here on RFD-TV. We're looking at input pricing. Current outlook there?
Yeah, we were pretty fortunate, I would say, in 2015 through 2020, where we were basically trend line on those inputs, and as well as grain prices, and we've seen a lot of variability in the last couple of years, starting in 2020 with COVID, and we saw fertilizer prices that were 4x, right? I mean, they quadrupled from prices we were paying in 20. Glad to say those are down, like we all know, about half of what we had last year, but herbicide and seed still marginally up, and at the end of the day, it just is still costing us more to plant an acre of corn or soybeans in the Midwest, although it is, again, significantly a little bit less than we paid last year.
Before I let you go, real quick, Grant, obviously producers, farmers always looking to limit their price risk. Suggestions?
Yeah, these vendors and these companies have a lot of great programs and discounts available for retaining acres, growing acres, those volume discounts. And the biggest one is just the early pay. If cash flows work and a producer can pay for those inputs early, or even a percentage of them early, then you can lock in those prices and really protect yourself.
Great advice, as always. Grant Fitzgerald, a pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great holiday. With the American Society of Farm Managers and Rural Appraisers, again, Grant Fitzgerald. You want to be sure to tune in each Wednesday, 1:30 Eastern, for a weekly land report update.